In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. The second lecture on understanding the Quran, regarding the introduction to the Holy Quran, is presented to you. The sequence is such that we are presenting the introduction to the Quran in the form of small lectures, or small questions, and then their answers, so that, in the light of questions and their answers, we can gain an introduction to the Holy Quran. In lecture number 2 of the series on the introduction to the Quran, the question is the same as was given in lecture number 1, but the style of the answer is slightly different. Why was there a need for the revelation of the Quran? The brief answer is that it was required to correct human behavior. As you know, Allah Almighty has created humans as a creature with free will. Then, it is a well-known fact that when humans are endowed with authority, the majority of humanity, there is a possibility that they might change their behavior. What causes this change in behavior? Certainly, it is the very authority that leads to the change in human behavior. Allah Almighty has given each person individual authority and freedom in their actions, as I mentioned in lecture number 1. The purpose of the revelation of the Quran was to guide humans on the correct use of the authority given by Allah Almighty. Meanwhile, the aim of this lecture's question and its answer is to ensure that the purpose of the Quran's revelation is to keep human behavior correct. The truth is that, when Allah Almighty created humans, it was made clear from the appointment to the position of vicegerency that, look, I alone am the owner and deity of this entire universe and all worlds, and I am its ruler and sovereign. No one else besides me is entitled to divinity or any sovereignty. Therefore, I am entrusting you with powers, and there are certain boundaries and limitations to these powers. You must remain within these limitations and solely worship and obey me and fully follow the instructions that come from me. As far as powers are concerned, you are free to dispose of these powers. But my intention and direction is that these powers should be used according to my will. However, you have the freedom to use them, and this freedom, there is a set time for this, and you must remain on the earth until this appointed time. This freedom of powers is actually a test for you, to see whether you adopt the correct behavior or the wrong one while exercising these powers. Now, what is the correct behavior? Certainly, it is to follow my commands. And what will be the wrong behavior? Certainly, it will be to disobey my commands. Now, if you adopt the correct behavior, meaning you follow my commands, it will be acknowledged and counted as the correct behavior. As a result of this correct behavior, I will grant you peace and confidence in the world. And then, when you return to me from this worldly examination hall, that is, from the earth, I will give you the eternal abode of comfort and success, which is called paradise. And if, on the contrary, you adopt the wrong behavior, meaning you violate my commands, then you will have to taste the consequences of chaos and unrest in the world. And then, when you come to me, you will be thrown into the pit of eternal sorrow and suffering, which is hell. Therefore, the responsibility of guiding and leading towards this correct behavior was taken upon by Allah Almighty Himself. And for this very purpose, Allah Almighty sent His prophets and messengers to the world, and along with them, He also revealed scriptures. To keep the individuals of this community on the right path, Allah Almighty sent the Prophet, peace be upon him, so that he could guide the members of the community to the straight path. And for this straight path, Allah Almighty also blessed this community with the wealth of the Holy Quran. This was the implementation of the Quran. Another purpose, and its necessity. After this, in lecture number 3, we will further discuss the necessity of the revelation of the Quran. So, let us try to give humanity its recognition through the true knowledge of the Quran and Sunnah, and make practical efforts to fulfill the demands of the revival of religion. May Allah, by understanding the Holy Quran, support and assist us in this mission. Peace and blessings be upon you.